The Final Fantasy VIII community has probably been the most wholesome and most inviting community out of the entire Final Fantasy series. When I first started streaming Final Fantasy VIII, I didn't think much of it. I didn't think it was going to be the series that really projected the numbers that it did, but I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot of people who came in to Final Fantasy VIII, not only to just help me with the systems and learn junctions, but to also keep people in check so I don't get spoiled for playing my first time, which is very rare for a community to do. Most communities don't care too much because the game's been out for a really long time, so they don't try to go out of their way to make it the way that it is. Not only that, but I had plenty of people come in and try to, and even insult me while I was playing these games, and the community that I had around me absolutely dunked on them, and it was one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had. While Final Fantasy VIII probably is not going to be my favorite Final Fantasy, as I'm currently running through all the Final Fantasies, most of them for the first time right now, I do think it's going to rank pretty highly, not just because I did quite enjoy it, but also because the community around it was just so freaking good. Not only that, but the community did immensely help when the first half of the game. The first half of the game does slog on a bit. It does take time to get used to the systems, and they're not very easy to understand at first until you start unlocking more. But getting through that first half and having all those people help me along the way really made it feel like a genuine community that cared about the people who come into their game. Lots of games often have elitists or people who try to gatekeep certain things for you to get into, and that ends up pushing off a lot of people. I think that is a huge problem that does exist within inside the Souls community, is that they are often very gatekeepy and things like that, even though I very much enjoy Souls-like games. One of the coolest things is even when people did technically spoil things for me, there were people around them putting like false spoilers, and it was actually really pleasantly surprising to find that they were actually not telling me the truth, that I still got to discover the things that I did. For example, like Laguna being Squall's dad, or them all growing up together, or who Renoa's mom is. All of those things could have been spoiled for me from the beginning, and while there are lots of people out there, it seemed to be very few of them in that community. For anyone who hasn't played Final Fantasy VIII, I do highly recommend that you do. Even if you have come in before and you didn't really like the beginning, I suggest that, honestly, you probably shouldn't pay too much attention to the tutorials. They seem to go in a little too hard, and just understand that you will unlock things as things go on, and that junctions are kind of like mini-cons of Transformers, where you find a new mini-con, get it all the way up to 100, and then attach it for the most powerful boost. And while there are many flaws in this system, particularly drawing becomes very tedious. To start a fight off and find out a new boss has a very good spell, and to be sitting there drawing over and over can be quite annoying, but it does end up making you very powerful. I had an amazing time with this game. I do hope one day that they come back and do a remake for this game, but that's probably going to be really far off if it does. And I believe that it's rumored that 9 is actually going to be first on the list after they fully finish 7, which makes sense because it is one of the next most popular games. For a lot of people, they did not make it through 8, and I completely understand. But anyways, for any of the people out in the Final Fantasy VIII community, thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm glad I got to share this experience with you, and I'm really excited to continue moving forward in Final Fantasy IX, which I'm currently playing, and then on to 10, which I have played, but I've never beat. So it's going to be a wild ride over the next few weeks, if not months.